Jake Butt with you, along with our entire Fox crew. Let's get it going. And we are off. Jashawn Corbin out across the 35, 1st and 10. First play from scrimmage.
Kick it! Here we go! Orlando!
And the handoff taken by Corbin right to the 40-yard line. Give him a gain of, he is a tackling machine.
Orlando!
On 2nd down. Plummer brings it down and completes it out to Badger right at the 50-yard line.
180! What's up?
Plummer on the keeper. Not known for his athletic ability, tried to juke.
180! What's up?
They move Chris Rowland back to the backfield. Throw it to him out of there and little stiff arms.
180! What's up?
On 3rd and 4. Corbin, Jashawn Corbin only picks up 1 yard.
Orlando, son!
They need the 39 pressure coming, and it's bobbled but caught by Hamler. Orlando, first down here on the opening drive of the ball game. Plummer under pressure through the hands of Hamler in the gate.
180! What's up?
Plummer, quick snap, that one through the hands of Chris Rowland. A little too hot on that one.
Areas, but they can change depending on what comes.
A little pitch here to Rowland, and he cuts it back up, but going to be stopped before he...
180! What's up?
Here's the excellent stop there.
Plummer steps up. Hamler on his knees.
Sticky.
25.
The ruling on the field is the pass is incomplete. Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense number 25. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot with an automatic first down.
And you heard the voice of Dean Blandino chiming. It's incomplete, nonetheless, first down. Inside the 30. Badger breaks the tackle, picks up 11.
Orlando,
Plummer to the air, intended for Hamler. Dan,
you got zero coverage here now. You got some space on the outside.
and some time. Intended for his tight end Fox. There's some copy.
Here we go. Orlando's it.
They get it off just before the play clock. And that's caught. A couple over 50. This will be a lot shorter from 28. And he misses. His first miss.
Set. Blue 88. Blue 88.
It's Benny Snell, the former Steeler. And a good run to start the night. Jason Bean told us they need
into the naked bootleg action. You can pass the football and still be comfortable, even if it's incompletions, for third down.
Set. Blue 88. Blue 88.
First pass for Bean. Zips it right into
6 NFL games. He's going to live in that backfield.
Yeah, veteran up front for
Blue
Orlando.
88. Blue 88.
Off the play fake, a little too high. Pass.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Rolling. And once again thrown too high. This time intended for Winstead week. And pulled.
Blue 88.
Chandler
Blue 88.
Rogers got some play. He may get some play tonight. Bean hit as he throws up top. Jackson makes the catch. To Orlando
Blue
territory.
88. Blue 88.
Bean pressure and pulled down for the sack. First sack of the night. And there's Chandler Rogers. Came on last week in relief and actually played quite well. He's in for at least this play on 2nd and 21. Draw play, Benny Snell. Can't even get back to the line of scrimmage. That one sniffed out.
Try to get half of this back. Obviously, you want it all, but you want to get at least half.
Here comes the heat. Snell out of the backfield and doesn't get half, but he goes. The hold is good, and so is the kick. And for the first time in their 2 home games, the Louisville Kings lead in front of the home folks.
But I don't know if I like it or if I wouldn't like it. If I played really good, I would like it.
And that fell short of the landing zone, which means they'll bring it all the way out to the 40-yard line.
Ball will be
And
placed
so it'll be
at the
good starting
40-yard
field
line.
position for
First down,
Jack
Orlando.
Plummer. Jake Butt.
Simple. The number one point of emphasis was finding a way to run the ball. On the flip side with Anthony Beck, he really wanted to challenge his coordinators, like Devin talked about earlier in the game, to get more explosives. Having that film from last week.
LA! Orlando, touch!
First carry of the night by Stewart. And he's tripped up in the...
Sit on!
All three receivers to the right of Plummer. And he keeps it. With a move and a first down.
On Corbin.
Well, he ran it for 12 yards. It's at the 19 now.
What's up?
Trey Stewart cutting it up. Stewart with running room.
Finale! Orlando, touch!
The pitch to Stewart. Blockers in front. No running room. Stop.
What's up?
From the 8 on 2nd and goal. Quick pass, batted down.
Sit on! What's up?
Plummer. Dumps it, rolling, touchdown. Season for Roland. Lance gets the extra point, and Orlando goes on top for the first time.
Have 16 teams by 2033, and we'll have one more team in 2028, and all these new markets this year so far.
Yeah, one of these new markets is the one we're at tonight here in Louisville. You mentioned the crowd. What stood out to you about this stadium and this fan base?
You know, to me, Jake, this is the vision, man. I mean, this is 14,000 people. Now is, you know, we start today, and we're going to build this, and we're here for the long term. I got great partners with, you know, Redbird Capital, Fox, and ESPN, and we're going to build this for the future.
And one other team in 2028, but right now, this new franchise in Louisville trying to get back on top. Isaiah Winstead out across the first down mark.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Benny Snell looking for running room, finds it. Takes it in.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
And he'll add to it, lowering the shoulder, going to be stopped just a yard short.
I receiver to get into the flat right away.
Blue
And
88!
remember, they've crossed the 50, so they can't punt.
There you go.
Bean,
Give it to him.
oh, he missed a lot.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
And no, they won't. Keyshawn Banks, 45. Plummer, who threw the touchdown pass on the last play, hands it off. Jayshawn Corbin, and Corbin fighting out just shy of the 50-yard line.
180! What's up?
Louisville showing blitz. Corbin hit in the backfield by that blitzing running linebacker, pardon me.
Sit on!
On 3rd and 5.
What's up?
Plummer forced to scramble. And he's just going to throw that one away out of bounds. And they have the option to punt because they did not cross the 50. Jack Browning, he was on the Bucs playoff team a couple of years ago on the kick it for Orlando.
Kurt, have you ever said the opportunity to punt on a broadcast? UFL.
Oh, and there's a muff, but it's recovered by Lucky Jackson, who is lucky that he did not turn that one over. And so Louisville will retain possession.
Week in a row. What are you seeing at the line of scrimmage in terms of your checks?
Yeah, they're doing a little more zero on us, a little more pressure, and so we kind of
Drafted by the Buffalo Bills.
Blue 88!
Right by.
Blue 88! Go give him the ball.
Speed kills, right? The reverse and the throw. Lucky Jackson to Winstead, who makes the catch. No one touched him. He gets up and finally brought
Over again all week.
Blue 88.
You want to make sure you at
Blue
least
88.
execute.
That's already the 3rd play of over 20 yards tonight. Bean escapes. He can use his legs. Inside the 10. Tackle down.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
On 1st and goal. Nowhere to run. Caught in the backfield. Isaiah Buggs.
On the same side.
Blue 88!
Winstead
Blue
goes in
88!
motion. Bean looking that way. Towards the end zone, little fade route, incomplete.
Want
Blue
to get guys
88!
across the field.
Blue 88!
Bean stepping up. Oh, he threw that one too low, right at the feet of Tanner Brown from 27 yards out. And he is 2 for 2 in the field goal department tonight. 7 for 7 on the year, and it makes it a one
guy, or maybe rush and go get the end zone with your legs.
So they take the field goal to make it a 7-6 game. Drawing just a little bit closer, and we'll see what Orlando can do before halftime as KJ Hamler makes a move. Hamler out near midfield, finally wrestled down.
Yeah, they got
and pushing and shoving on the sideline. Zach Davidson just threw him down.
Play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team number 84, late head out of bounds. 15-yard penalty. First down.
They'll tack 15 onto the 36-yard return to go here in this first half.
We haven't seen much from Badger at the top of your screen.
And you won't on this play. That's Trey Stewart, the running back. Wide open is KJ Hamler.
Ball start. Offense number 86. 5-yard penalty. First down.
11-11, 11-11. Rip. Tonight. 189. What's it?
And Plummer is sacked.
Tonight. 189. What's it?
Third and goal. Pressure. Sack. And this Louisville defense just keeps
on first down, so they have these second down and long opportunities. It's not working for them.
We'll see what Lance can do from 44 yards out. Missed his first kick, but makes that one, and so they will extend the lead. It's now a 10-6 contest. Lance with the kickoff. And Sheridan returns it right to the 30-yard line.
Now here, I think you're going to see a pass.
Well, they've moved the football, and they'll try here again as Bean is chased out, flag back.
Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And that's the left tackle, Leroy Watson.
Yeah, we screen him. I will go screen at him right now.
Here comes Bank for the pressure again. They go with the draw play to try and slow him down just a little bit. Benny Snell picks up a couple of yards. Bean. And that's too high for his running back, Wheeler. Opportunities that these young men have to try and turn spring football into an NFL career. Bean hit as he throws, and is caught by Winstead. They needed 17. He got 18.
Hold up for this long developing play to work. They hold up. He stands in there strong, makes a play.
Bean, another quick pass. Lucky Jackson spinning his way out to
moment, but they didn't get one there. They got to move quick.
Over
the middle, and it is caught. McKitty, the tight end, and Trey McKitty picks up the first down.
Protection means it's 5-man. He's going to get out in the flat right away.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Bean over the middle and overthrows McKitty, who was open.
There you go.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Bean steps up. This one complete to Winstead inside the 10-yard line.
Call a play.
Here we go.
First and goal from the 7. They clock it.
And right in the middle of the field. If he vacates, you want to replace him with a throw. He looks like he's going to vacate.
Bean intended for Winstead, but
on that play, can't get to the quarterback. Get those hands up on it quick. Bat it down.
Here we go, Bean. On third down, flag down as well as Lucky Jackson makes the catch at the 3-yard line.
Offside. Defense, number 97. Half the distance to the goal. Third down.
Long time since they've scored a touchdown. Here's Bean. Fade route. Prather, the intended receiver, hand fighting.
We're not kicking a field goal.
They get it off. Bean. He's got a man, and it's incomplete.
He might have aided him in rushing to make that play.
And so missed opportunities has been kind of the story of the game and the season as a UFL expansion team. And so let's see what kind of starting field position he will have. Jaden Sheridan going to get in pretty good field position, just shy of the 40-yard line. Rushing in the first half, only 27 against this team last week total. They're last in the UFL in rushing, and they go to the air right here to start the second half, and that will help convert Isaiah.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Here's Bean to the air again. Benny Snell out of the backfield. And Snell fighting to get to that first down marker tonight.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Going to the air again. Pressure. Bean steps up. Perfect throw into the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville.
Right when somebody's hanging all over you, you still go up with strong hands and snatch it away.
And Tanner Brown gets the extra point. Chris Redmond.
I think the answer is stand on the red zone. Just score before you get there.
It seemed to work on that drive. 3 plays, 61 yards. And so now we'll see what Orlando can do. For the first time here as they touch the ball in the second half, Chris Rowland out across the 35-yard line.
I would say try to collapse the pocket and keep him inside rather than getting him outside.
He hands it off to Jayshon Corbin, who bounces it outside. And
keep an eye on the Z wide receiver, the Z flood action.
That's KJ Hamler in motion. Plummer going up top. And he can't connect with... Plummer being pressured, gets it off. Rowland makes the catch, a stiff arm, and Rowland keeps on going to the 25-yard line. They hurry back to the line of scrimmage. Out of the backfield, Corbin. Corbin again, and he's hit before he could even get back to the line of scrimmage. Good pressure, lining down on third. And they get it off. Plummer underneath. Rowland keeps on fighting and gets the first down. Good second effort by Chris Rowland.
Chris Rowland.
And a little movement early on the left side of this offensive line for Orlando.
False start. Offense, number 68. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Zuri Henry, the left tackle.
Here's the glance right here. White stick.
They get it off. And that one's in and out of the hands of the tight end, Sean Bowman, incomplete.
You learned earlier when you hear that Z slide, that's the Z receiver getting it to the flat right away. There he is.
Off the play fake. Corbin out of the backfield. With blockers in front. Inside the 10, into the end zone for the Orlando touchdown. Into the end zone. And we're less than 7 minutes into the third quarter.
How about the offensive lineman get on the outside? There's nobody to block.
I actually have.
Are you nice? Are you good?
Yeah. You know, especially when you ride on top and you got to hang on when you oh, that's a different thing. Okay, sorry. Here's Jaden Sheridan with the return. Wheeler with the block in front of him. And a nice return by Sheridan. He really looks comfortable here to start the second half. 3 plays, 61 yards, and a touchdown the first possession. And to the air they go again. Oh, friendly fire there. Isaiah Winstead, the intended receiver.
After discussion, there is no foul on the play. Timeout for an injury to a defensive player.
That's maybe not double, but
the defensive coordinator for Orlando. Happy to see his son get up after that, and this pass incomplete.
It is man-to-man coverage. He should be getting the football.
Play clock ran out, but no flags thrown as Bean escapes. And on third down, going to be a couple yards.
Pocket. Do it by design.
What's coming? Bean throws it, and it is caught. Good enough for the first down. Bell.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Benny Snell. First run play of the second half, and Snell picks up 16 yards on 11 carries. Now at 24. And he gets it again. First down and more. Snell former Pittsburgh Steeler, down inside the 15-yard line, and Louisville total yards in this game.
It'll open.
Bean keeps it, and he's got Lucky Jackson for the touchdown. Got 2 in the first 10 minutes of the third quarter. Tanner Brown just inside the upright, makes it a field goal lead, and Jason Bean watching their team take the lead. And we're only 10 minutes into the second half. And we'll see if Orlando can answer again. Jaysean Corbin will help, taking it into Louisville territory before being forced out of bounds.
The defense out way more so our schemes can execute and hit how they're supposed to.
How about your quarterback, Jason Bean, just making a ton of plays out there?
Fantastic. He's fantastic. All praise to Bean and the O-line. They've been doing a fantastic job.
Thanks, Benny.
All right, their defense coming. Jaysean Corbin and Trey Stewart both in at running back. Plummer all kinds of time. Good pass and a diving catch. Actually, roommates with Plummer down in Orlando. Maybe he said this week, give me the ball, give me the ball. Here's Plummer, lofts it up. Oh, he had Elijah Badger open and up.
Badger's not a guy that just drops passes. You have to expect that maybe the ball got lost in the light.
Here's Trey Stewart, keeps it on the ground, and he fights his way for a gain of 8. They do. Stewart gets the first down and keeps on fighting down to the. He convinced him. And they hand it off again. Stewart lost his footing, keeps on fighting, and gonna get 9 yards on the run. And then a wet willie. Stewart hitting the backfield, nowhere to go. Josiah Bronson right there as soon as he took the handoff.
Louisville scoring touchdowns. Do you take the points here if you don't pick up the first down?
And the play clock ran out.
False start. False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
So,
sorry, not Dancer. Number 7, their safety, Eric Garr.
Out of the backfield, Corbin. And it's. And just inside that upright. And we've got a time. The air game, well, this has proved to be it for you. 560 yards and 4 touchdown passes for these two teams combined. Ian Wheeler out to midfield.
Touchdowns.
Blue 88.
Second half.
Blue 88.
Patience paying off. Here's Bean to the air again. That one's bobbled and dropped. Lucky Jackson.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Bean. Wheeler out of the backfield. Short pickup of maybe 2 yards.
Blue 88. Blue 88.
Here comes the pressure. Bean. That one hit as he throws. And it falls incomplete. To
88. Blue 88.
Here comes the blitz again from Beckham. Bean. Throws on the run, and it's full. And Orlando takes it over at their own 48.
180. What's up?
Jaysean Corbin. For about an hour before kickoff, it stopped, and now it's back again.
You got Z Sluggo seam right, slant and go, and the defender is on a wet surface.
Pump fake by Plummer. Hold it. And the receiver fell down.
Yeah, he held him. He had to. He was exactly what he did.
Holding. Defense. 5-yard penalty with an automatic first down.
180. What's up?
Plummer keeps it. And he slips as he tries to cut.
He isn't great, and then the quarterback we've seen make plays outside the pocket just slips down.
Going deep. Over the middle. Hamler dives.
That's a
Touchdown, Orlando.
Wow. A dive.
On to make it a 7-point lead. And that one just inside the upright. It's 27-20 after KJ Hamler.
Special. He's been mentored by Reggie Wins in the Rising Stars program in Metro Detroit. He's come a long way.
Oh, Lucky Jackson now back as a return man, and he won't go far. Stopped right at the 25.
So I just kind of been going through it, so I come out here, I play for them.
Thank you, KJ.
And I think so often people forget the human display. And so it's 27-20. Orlando on top, being hit as he throws. Still connects with Davidson, his tight end, who pitches it out to Snell. They're going to say he's just...
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean handles bad snap. Over the middle. Caught. First down, and all of a sudden they're going to the tights, the two tight ends, and a touchdown.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean backing up. And wisely throws that one away, incomplete.
With Snell.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
From the shotgun, Bean. Looking downfield the whole time and going to take what he can get, and all he gets is about half a yard. Two downs here because they've crossed the 50. Draw play, Benny Snell. Oh, good open field tackle made by Devontae Beckett.
Touchdown, this ball is going to be thrown in the end zone. Let's see what happens.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Did they get the ball off?
Hey, does he want it? Because this is going to put him back to the... Where are we? No, he wants it, okay? Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. It's fourth down.
Talk about the wrong time.
Kurt.
Blue 88!
Orlando's now in a more prevent type defense.
Bean steps up, throws that too high for Lucky Jackson. No possible. Maybe could have used a little help from the sideline to call a timeout as they watch the play clock wind down. Nonetheless, it is a turnover on downs. Plummer directing traffic, takes a big shot. Hamler, the intended receiver, but good coverage there by Nick Kubitz. There is a...
Pass interference. Defense. Ball is placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down. Number 36 committed the
restriction is what drew that flag.
And it winds up being a 21-yard penalty. Movement early by Louisville. And they're saying they were drawn offside.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's a
Good! Orlando's good!
First and 15. Plummer can't escape. Cam Gill, who had 2 sacks against the...
Nice move by Cam Gill.
And the play clock hit 0. They got it off. Can Plummer take advantage? And no. Here we go on third down. See what they do. They draw it. And it looks like they're willing to concede.
Yep, you want to get less than 5 here.
Right.
Because if you get 5, you're going to have to go for it on fourth and in eternity.
So here we go on 4th and 22. Can Louisville get the stop? Connection made to Rowland. They stop him before he gets to that. Luckily, he picked him up and handed him off.
Right.
All right, here we go from the 34-yard line. Snell gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe.
He's the 5 offensive lineman going to deal with the 5 defensive lineman and linebacker, and the running back is just there for help.
Blitz picked up. Bean. Oh, he's got Winstead, but he threw it too short, and it's broken up on the coverage by Josh.
Blue 88!
3rd and 10. Bean. Throwing on the run against his body, and good pass to Winstead.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean to the air again. To Winstead again. Across midfield, and Bean.
Look pretty. You've got to...
And that running back is Benny Snell. Instead, he completes it. And that's caught by...
Force this ball out quickly. And if that happens, you got to get the ball in that flat.
Bean, quick pass for Trey McKitty, or go for 3, which one would guess they wouldn't, but they could go for the win here if they could score. Here's Bean. Lucky Jackson breaks the tackle, gets the first down. What a turnaround by Bean at quarterback. And he adds to it, or had a chance to. Right off the F for Louisville.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean stays in the pocket. gets to the other tight end. Caught this time, Zach Davis.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean threw into coverage there, luckily for Lewis.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean has time. And he misconnected with Davidson.
The flat route immediately to the flat is alive.
Blue 88!
Bean over the middle, into the end zone, touchdown Davidson.
By Leroy Watson.
And a good no call as Tanner Brown ties it up with just over a minute left. Chris Rowland, one of the better return men in the league, back deep. And he's going to take that one inside the 10. Good coverage by Louisville.
Sit on! 189! What's it on?
First play of the drive. Rowland, the intended receiver.
Understanding that you never know what play is going to decide the game.
What's it on?
And that's caught by Jerome Cap.
180! What's it on?
They get the snap off. Here comes the pressure. Plummer out for the first down to Rowland. And with the ball at the fourth.
This opportunity, there has to be a bunch of nerves.
Lance has settled down since then. Plummer had to kind of side on that one. It's caught, but the clock lost a couple of yards.
Defenders say shoot that near hip. That's exactly how you shoot the near hip. Here goes again.
And Corbin tackled, short gain, still in bounds. They need a high, deep one here.
Perfect.
Lucky Jackson from inside the 5. Good open field tackle.
Here we go, here we go.
So we are going to overtime. And it's an overtime shootout. The books. And it's all
Overtime period. If we're still tied after 3 periods, we'll keep playing until we have a winner. Each team has 1 timeout for the entire overtime. This is heads. This is tails. Orlando, you'll call the toss.
So tails.
Tails? Tails is the call. It's heads. Louisville, you've won the toss. Do you want to go offense or defense first?
We want to go off.
Set! Blue 88! Blue 88!
And he throws as he's being hit incomplete. So they get no.
What's up?
On their one play. Plummer, too hot for Hamler, incomplete.
From Louisville, they want to make the necessary adjustments.
Blue 88!
Bean, quick pass and it's broken up. It's more if Orlando can score here.
What's up?
Plummer underneath Corbin. He is stopped. They completed the pass, but Louisville's empty backfield.
Blue 88!
That's McKitty you highlighted. Bean going to run it instead. No, he throws it. Incomplete. Benny Snell stepped on the side.
Eyes right on it. You can see it from the ref cam. He jumps and his pinky toe.
That close.
His pinky toe is on the white. You got to know where you are on the field. Leverage on KJ Hamler.
What's up?
Plummer, fade route, incomplete. There's a flag down in the end zone. Connerton was the intended receiver. Let's see.
Defense number 8. By rule, the ball is placed at the 1-yard line. Replay the try.
That's a tough call to make for me. They're battling, and it's the right call, in my opinion. That ball was not going to be able to.
Here we go. What's up? Go, baby.
Jason Corbin stopped in the backfield. Louisville's defense comes up again. Mackay goes score first.
Blue 88! Blue 88!
Bean under pressure, and that's broken up.
To the back of the end zone.
What's up?
Looking, flag drawn as Badger was the intended receiver, and getting there early is a defender for Louisville.
Holding defense number 12. Because this was the second defensive foul by Louisville during the overtime period, the try is good. Orlando wins, and the game is over.
A crazy finish. Corey Mayfield called for the defensive penalty because it's the second one. Dean Blandino, explain this to us. How does the game end?
To make sure that we had a winner and we got the game over with. We didn't want fouls to continue. All clear, all clear. We didn't want the team to continue to foul to prevent scores, so the second live ball foul by the same team during overtime results in a good try, and that's the rule.
So this is basically just an effort to prevent the defense from just committing penalty after penalty after penalty.
Correct, correct. And again, to get the game over with at some point, you know, how many tries are we going to go? You think about player safety and extra snaps. We've already been playing over 3 hours. And again, so when we put that rule in, and this has been the rule the last 3 years, the second live ball foul during overtime by the same team results in a successful try.
Well, an anticlimactic finish, but a victory for Orlando, 29-27. They win it on a penalty in overtime.